What is up, my fellow Chibits? Today, I'm here to bring all of you the weekly anime review of Food Wars. Now, I know I'm sitting in my chair. You don't see my normal background behind me with the books. The reason for that is because I just got done with my Tokyo Ghoul live reaction. Oh my god, that chapter. Oh my god, that fucking chapter. That chapter was... Oh my god. Oh my god. That chapter. But anyways... I'm just gonna say right now, this episode of Food Wars, okay? I watched it actually before Tokyo Ghoul, just to do FYI. But, anyways, Food Wars Season 2. Episode 4, if I am correct. This episode, once again, showcases the personality of the King of Stalkers, Subaru. And I love the way this episode was done, showcasing how much of a scumbag Subaru is, and also how far Takumi will go to uphold the honor of his brother, his cooking, and as a chef. I really love this episode, the way it was focused on the entirety of this, and also the way the finale part of this episode was showing that Soma's like, fuck you, I don't respect you as a chef, and I want to do a Shokugeki with you. I love, overall, the entire structure of this episode of Food Wars, so getting into the details. There is a main thing here that we all need to take note of, okay? Subaru, he is a guy that stalks you. He stalks you, he knows what you do. He knows your habits, he knows what you're going to cook. He knows everything about you. He does his own personal research down to the very little detail when he's going up against someone, which we get to see in this episode. And Takumi was actually going, like, fighting an uphill battle. He was fighting against someone that clearly had the advantage, someone that has already done all of his prep work, and he knew what to expect and what to do. It's kind of like this. It's like comparing two different people. One person decides to walk into a test without studying, or studied somewhat and thinks they know it, but they walked into the test without barely anything about knowing about the test. Someone else did their research and did everything they knew about the test, like they researched everything they thought was on it, and then even more than that, and then they, you know, surpassed it. So kind of Takumi in the entire time in this episode, he was up against impossible odds. He was up against someone that studied, did his research, and knew what he was doing and what he was going up against before his opponent even, you know, did anything. So, Takumi, there was no chance for him to win at all. There was no possibility for him to win. But also, the more fucked up part was that even though he thought he was actually going past the limits that he normally would do, he actually was in the palm of the hands of Subaru the entire time. He knew that Takumi would change up his recipe a little bit to a certain extent to be able to add a certain twist. And Subaru was able to guess this and understand what he was going to do, which once again, uphill battle. He had no chance of winning since the very beginning. Now, this right here, what this episode goes to show you is that Subaru, he's a very skilled chef. I mean, at the end of the day, even though he's a scumbag and what he did was pretty fucked up, you have to compliment the man for being able to take a recipe from someone and being able to make it even better than it was, the original version. The man definitely has talent to be able to take a recipe, actually copy it to a certain extent, and then even change it to where it is even better and exceeds the original. That takes a lot of skill. So Subaru, as a, you know, a chef, he is not someone you can look down upon. He is actually a very good chef. But what was brought up at the end of this episode was something that Soma mentioned. He's like, I can't respect you as a chef because you don't have these certain qualities of a chef. And let me explain what that meant. So Soma was like, you are not creative. I mean, at the end of the day, you are kind of creative, but you're not creative to where you don't have this certain quality as a chef, to where you experiment to find out what is good and what isn't. Like, for instance, Soma's character, since the very beginning of Food Wars, as we've always seen, he's the type of character that loves to experiment with different type of recipes. Like, we've seen the squid and peanut butter, which was completely fucking nasty at the beginning of Food Wars. We saw that in the first episode. If you watched the anime series or if you read the manga, you saw that. And this is something that's been a part of his character since the beginning. He's constantly testing things, even if they're nasty. He wants to test it for research to see if it can actually work or be good in any way. And that's kind of one of the main reasons why Soma has such a very unique style of cooking. And this is one of the things that chefs do when they actually are cooking. They like to experiment with different recipes to see if it'll work or it won't work. And that's kind of what chefs do in real life. And the thing is that Subaru doesn't do, he doesn't do that. He is actually a person that loves copying copying others. He copies everybody else's recipe, and he makes it better. At the end of the day, he does make it better. It tastes better, but he's not a chef that actually decides to make his own original piece of recipes. He's a man that is a copy. He loves stealing, and he's not a person that is honorable that will make his own type of recipes to where he can display. So, that is what Soma was talking about. He's like, I can't respect you because you don't have this quality of a chef to be able to experiment and, you know, make your own things. You have to piggyback off of others to be able to become what you are today. It's a hollow victory what you constantly are doing. So, I really respect Soma after what he said. It goes along with his character and what he said, and also to see the respect he has for Takumi in this episode. He's like, I want to get back the cooking utensil you stole from Takumi and all the other 99 others you took from as well. I love Soma's declaration in this fucking episode. It is amazing, and I loved it. So, overall, I think this is personally one of my favorite episodes of Food Wars to date. It definitely is. I love the actual, just the entirety of this episode, seeing it focus on just one entire cook-off, seeing Takumi going up against the King of Stalkers. Just an excellent episode. I love the music, love the animation, and I felt like the voice acting definitely nailed it. I especially love the voice acting of Subaru. He did a very good job with his role in this episode. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. How do you feel about this week's episode of Food Wars? Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I love you all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.